Okay, amazing. So welcome everybody. There are a few more people on the list who've signed up. So if people arrive, I will just let them in. So if you hear a bing bong, that's what's going on. I'm just letting other people in to the call. And so thank you for sharing why you're here this evening. And that's been really useful for me to know. So I'm just going to get on straight away and start sharing my slides and tell you a little bit about who I am and why I'm here talking to you about this stuff today. So just give me a thumbs up, make sure you can see my slides. Lily, I can see you. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Yes, amazing. Okay, fabulous. Okay, and I'm just going to close the chat down there as well. Okay, so we're here to look at building a well-being business that actually works. And by works, I mean works for you. So we've heard a little bit about some of us like structure, but resist structure at the same time. Some of us are really new. Some of us are very established in one field, and we want to take that into a different one. So we want to build a business that works for who we are and the stage of business that we're in. So I'm going to share with you some things about me to start with. So I've been in the wellbeing industry for more than 25 years. I started off doing sports massage and sports therapy in the late 90s, where before social media had been invented, before anybody had a mobile phone, I was turning up to sports events with my massage couch just on the day, asking event organizers if I could set my couch up in a corner and take a tin for donations with me. I found out when the events were from people who took part in sports. I worked out of a alternative therapy shop, and I just put posters outside and people would go into the shop and ask if they could come and have a massage. So it started off very old school before being online and social media was a thing. So I've been around in the world for a really long time. Um, and I've seen lots of fads come and go, lots of different trendy ways of marketing things, lots of different ways of promoting, lots of different ways of doing business. Um, and what we're going to talk about today is going to sort of has stood the test of time. Okay. So I think we should treat everything as an experiment. We know that things don't stay the same, but we also don't necessarily want to get caught up in the fads of, I never once, quite proud to say, I never once did a reel of me pointing to anything because it's not who I am and it's not what I want to be doing. Um, I'm neuroquirky, so I am neurodivergent. And because of that, I've had to do business my own way and work out things that work for me. So, like Kerry was saying, I like routine and structure, and at the same time, hate routine and structure. And sometimes it can feel like you're winging it, but that's sometimes also recognizing that that's sometimes what freedom feels like. So, it can feel like we're winging it. But if we know we've got this type of structure in place that I'm going to talk to you about, then you know you're not really winging it. It might just feel like it is. And I think everybody can do business their way that suits them. So there's no one size fits all model. So the Wellbeing Business School has been running since 2022, which is when I first set it up, just post COVID. Um, we run business startup support for wellbeing practitioners. So it's very much specifically things that work in wellbeing that don't necessarily work in other industries, and vice versa, mainly because people who work in the well-being space are not usually the same types of people as work in other spaces. Our motivations are different and our approaches are different, and what we want to do and how we want to work is often very different. We teach people about how to set up in-person offers, digital products, courses, so off-the-shelf courses that you're not present for that people can just buy, group programs where there's some kind of live delivery, some group element. We teach you how to set up and run memberships. And our focus really is on being able to take you out of your business sometimes. So not just to rely on you being present and trading your time for money, but developing a business model that involves also having some kind of passive or recurring income stream so that you can have some holiday. Or when life does life stuff, as it tends to do, you aren't also out of pocket and your business can still run at a level without you in it for an amount of time. So we want to build resilient businesses because it's often just us, and that can feel like a lot if we've also got life things going on in the background. So, oh, Laureen dropped in and out again. Brilliant, she's in now. Okay, so why are we here this evening? We're here this evening because sometimes business can feel hard, and most of us got taught how to do the thing. So just heard from Alex, has learned how to do the thing, how to become the massage therapist. but there's not much in the way of business education for well-being people. Um, and I know, because I've trained in lots of different modalities, that every time I've learned a new one, I've had to work out for myself how to make that into a business and how to turn a profit on it without feeling like I'm winging it. So you might be here because you feel like you're winging it. You might be here because you've got inconsistent income. So it might be that it's good when it's good, but how you earn that is exhausting. So for example, if you are running cohort programs and you rely on big launches, the energy required to run a big launch is a lot. So it might be that you have a real peak and trough cycle with your energy because of how you're running your business. It might just be that you are relying on word of mouth and don't yet have your own control over where you're getting your new business from. And you might even be at the point where you're thinking about quitting. So if you feel like everything's going really, feels like things are hard at the moment, and you think, actually, I'll just go back and get a job. If you're at that point, this might also be suitable for you. Okay. So I just wanted you to have a think about why you want to run a well-being business before we start. So why do you want to run the sort of business you want to run? If you're moving from in-person to online, why is that? Is it to have more time freedom? Is it to have more financial freedom? If you're choosing to have a side hustle, what's your intent for that? Is it to just earn enough money to pay for a holiday once a year? Or is it that it's going to be something that you transition from a full-time job into doing your business full-time? So have a think about what your intent is. These will probably be quite closely aligned to your personal values. So for me, I know I can make decisions based on my top 3 values, which are my personal freedom. So working when I want, with who I want, saying no to certain clients if I don't think they're a good fit, not being told what to do by anyone. Financial freedom, which for me means I need to earn a particular amount of money, and I know what that level is every month, so that I have safety. I can pay my own way and have nice things. I'm not worrying. And then also being my authentic self. So if I feel like I'm not really able to be myself, I have to pretend I'm more professional or differently professional than I actually am, then it's not a good fit for me. And my main motivation is to never have to work for somebody else again. I never want to be told what to do by somebody less experienced, less capable, less smart than me, or anybody, even if they are smarter than me and much more qualified. And then think about, how will you know when you get there? What does success feel like you? And I share this picture because for me, knowing that my top value was personal freedom, this was a photo taken when I was just outside my camper van in a field down in Dorset, about to go for a swim in a wild swimming spot. And it was amazing for me to be able to take my laptop and my dongle that you can see there on the table and work from absolutely anywhere. For me, yeah, that was the dream, right? So Lily, this is probably you too with that. I want to work online. So think about what success looks like for you in terms of your income, in terms of your time. When do you want to work? How much do you want to work? Your energy. Do some parts of the job really tire you out and others really energize you? Like, I love talking to groups, so this is me in my absolute heaven sweet spot. It gives me energy. What's the impact that you want to have? How many people do you want to reach? Do you want to reach groups? Do you want to teach other people how to do the things so they can teach it? Like, what's your impact level that you want to have? Is it that you want to have very specific impact with individual people, or does it want to go wider? Like, what's your model? And then what does that freedom look like for you? What does that success level of freedom look like for you? So I want you to just sort of ponder those things, not necessarily write anything right now. And in order to get to that point where you can run a business that feels like it's perfect for you, we need to have 8 foundations in place. If you ever feel like you're winging it, if you've got these 8 foundations in place, you know where to come back to. And if something feels off, you know which one is out of alignment and which one you therefore need to change or fix. So the first 4 of these 8 foundations are the internal foundations. So this happens without anybody in your world outside of yourself knowing. So these are your internal ones. And the first one is your mindset. Do you feel like a business owner? Or do you feel like a practitioner? Because it's a jump to make to go from being a practitioner to being a business owner. You also need to think about, am I valuing what it is that I offer, what I sell to people, the results that I give them? Like, how do you feel about, yes, I'm a business owner, I'm going to take myself seriously and charge well and give great results and perform at my absolute best? Do you know who your dream clients are? Or are you trying to work with everybody and anybody? So that's quite a key one. We need to look at what your offer suite looks like. So that when we talk about offer, we don't mean special offer or sales. We mean, how can people buy what it is that you sell? So what's that look like? How do you package and sell what it is that you do? And then how clearly are you telling people about what it is that you do, how it can help them, the transformation it can bring about, what the before and after having worked with you looks like? And rather than you guessing at these, I have a formulation that is going to walk you through where you are. So you are now going to need your notepad and pen at the ready. And I'm going to walk you through these first four. And you're going to give yourself some scores. So when it comes to being a business owner, you're going to give yourself a score, 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you are at number 1, this is when you get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. You're struggling to prioritize what your actual big vision looks like. So you might be just spending time replying to emails and not actually moving anything forward. And you may be getting overwhelmed. You might be at that point, you just don't know where to start. I don't feel like a business owner. I don't even know where to start. So that's you if you're at number 1. Number 2 is you want to build your business, but you don't prioritize working on your business because you're too busy working in your business. So sometimes we have to be like the CEO of our own business and make strategic decisions. And sometimes we need to be like the employee in our business and just do the thing. If we can't come out of employee mode and go into CEO mode and start making strategic decisions, we're stuck at number 2. All right. Number 3 is when you have a clear plan for your vision, but you're not consistently working towards it, you're not consistently doing what you know you need to do, or you feel like you're winging it. That's you at number 3. And number 4 is you're there. You feel like you're smashing it. You're a serious business owner. You're happy making the strategic decisions. You're investing in support to fill your knowledge or skills gaps, and you feel like you're on it. So just give yourselves a score, 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you want to share that in the chat, that'd be brilliant to see. So where are our mindsets at? 2, lovely. 2 to 3 for Lily. Okay, so we're sort of in the middle there. Fantastic. All right, so you need to keep your scores. I'll leave the chat open so if anyone else right. Oh, Kerry's a 2 to 3 as well. Amazing. Okay, so there's some work to do on the mindset. Oops, why has it gone all the way to gone all the way to the end? Hang on. Bear with me. Oh dear, hold on. Oh gosh, I've done it again. Right. I'll have to just be more careful where I'm pointing my clicker. There we go. Right. Next up, we're going to look at our dream clients. So again, we're going to score ourselves 1, 2, 3, or 4. Number 1 is you don't have a specific audience or you're trying to help everybody. Number 2 is you have a preferred type of client, but you can't really say why, and you don't really know what it is that they want. So you know who you think you might want to work with, but you don't really know why or what they want or how to talk to them. So number 3 is you know who your ideal client is. You're getting clear about what they want, like under the surface. Okay. And you can identify them, but it might take you a while. So you might need a conversation. It would be really hard for you to just go into a situation like networking, for example, and immediately pick out the 2 people in that room who might be a good fit client for you. You'd have to sort of get to know them and speak to them for quite a long time to work out if there was something that they needed from you. And number 4 is you know your ideal client inside and out, and you can easily identify them by asking a few simple questions. I think if you can do it in no more than 5 questions, that's a really good place to start. And you know where they hang out, so where the hubs of these types of people are and how to talk to them. So again, score yourselves 1, 2, 3, or 4 for this one. Again, let me know in the chat. So Alex was a 3. Megan was a 3. Ah, okay. Yeah, so this one we're feeling a little bit better with. We're a little bit better with where our ideal clients are, which is awesome. Okay, so then we're going to think about offers. Now, how do you sell what it is that you sell? Do you have nice, neat packages? Do you have nice, neat offers? Do you have a 12-week plan or a condition-specific outline? Like, how do you sell what it is that you sell? What's your offer? So number one, you create something different for every single person. And often when you're setting off, this is okay, by the way. So kind of as your career progresses, you should sort of move 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a lot of the advice I see, for example, tells people to niche really soon. And it is easier to sell things when you're niche. That's undeniable. But when you first set out, you don't know who you want to niche with, or you might think you do, but actually they're hard to find, or you can't find enough of them, or they're not really the right people. You didn't really know that till you'd worked with them. So it's okay if you're right at the beginning of your business journey not to have a strong offer just yet. But if you're a bit further on and you're still making bespoke offers for everybody or running single sessions that people can just book one at a time, then you probably need to start creating some offers or packages. You're at number 2 if you've had some success with clients, but you don't yet have a specific way. So it's maybe a bit hit and miss, or you can't say, oh, the way I work is like this. Number 3 is you have a strong offer or suite of offers. So I have a suite of offers, several of them that all intertwine and people can swirl around between different things that get people results and earn you the income that you desire. That's a number 3. And number 4, you've got an offer suite that you absolutely love to share with people. You tell people about it all the time. You're proud of it. You repeat things effectively. You know on repeat that this one you can sell. It makes you money consistently. So again, you get great testimonials and it's brilliant. So tell me where you are here. Oh, Wendy, is that 3? 3, not 30. Amazing. So Lily's at 2 for this one. Megan's a 3 here for this one. Or is that your scores from before? Okay, so where are we with our offers? What are you selling? Can't see the numbers coming up yet. Okay. And then, oh, yeah, 3 to 4 for Kerry. Brilliant. Fabulous. Okay. So again, if you're really early in your journey, it will be okay if this is 1 or 2. You don't have to worry. Okay, so then we're going to come on to the messaging. So you know what you're doing, you know who you're doing it for, but do they know who you're doing it for? So again, with your messaging, number 1, you're trying to please everybody, create solutions for them, multiple problems, different people. Now, I understand as well-being people, we do want to help everybody. And there are loads of things we can apply our skills to. And this can be a mixed blessing. All right. So I know this when I've been coaching, for example, there are loads of different things I can coach people with. But if I tell everyone about every different offer, I either confuse people or I overwhelm them. So I have to choose one at a time if I want to do lots of different things. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, you believe your message talks to your ideal client, but they're not buying it. So it's not compelling enough. They're not in a big enough discomfort or place of like, I've heard this described as like a bleeding neck problem. They're going to do something about it because a lot of well-being things are considered a nice to have. So how are we getting out of nice to have zone? Number 3 is your dream clients are engaging with you, but they're not buying from you. So sometimes what you're asking them to do, so we call that your call to action, is working, but not often enough, not consistently enough. And the number 4 is your dream clients are consistently finding you, telling you that it's like you're in their head, like you've been reading their diary, and they can't wait to work with you. They book that call, ready to pay. They're coming to you for what you sell, and you're making the money that you want. So again, tell me where you are here. What are your numbers for this one? 2, 3. Megan is a 2. Kerry's a solid 3 for this one. Wendy's not selling anything at the moment. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so this is where we're at with our internal thing. So we've got some work to do. Now, with any of these, the work to do is not to try and get from 1 to 4 in one fell swoop. If you're still at number 1 or you're not selling things, you need to sort of think about coming up through these one at a time and knowing what the next one looks like. If you don't know where to start, you start at the first one. So you start with your mindset, then you think about your clients, then you think about your offers, then you think about your message. So if you're stuck, you start at the top and you work your way down. All right. Now, I do have, although I'm just giving you this so that you can see the numbers, I am going to share with you a spreadsheet that you can write your numbers in, and you can look at what your next action is going to be. But I'll share that with you in a minute. So you've got your internal foundations now. You're halfway there. You know where you are with the internal work, but now you need to look at how you then market that to the outside world, to everybody else that isn't you. So you need to think about who's going to buy my stuff? Who is your audience? So, and how do you find more of them? And where do you put them when you've found them? What do you do with them? How do you nurture them and look after them and let them know about all of the things that they can buy from you and all of the ways that you can help them achieve the desire that they want to have? How do we turn people who just know about us to people who might want to work with us? So that's when we call people leads. So they are just audience members when they're just aware of us. They're a lead when they're thinking about buying from us, or they've given us some kind of signal that they might be interested in what it is that we do or sell. And then how good do we feel about actually selling the thing that we are selling? So we have to do some sales, and we have to kind of do that both proactively and reactively. So some people will come to us, but we also probably need to go out and find some people and tell them about what we do, maybe at networking, maybe in-person events, maybe online events. So we need to be able to tell our message to other people and just let people buy things. And for well-being folk, selling things can feel quite icky, unless we come at it with a sense of, I believe that we are serving people with our offers. So if we come with a heart of service and we just let people know that we can serve them, we can help them with their issue and their trouble, then it's simply an energetic exchange that we are making with them. So you are offering them your knowledge, your expertise, and they are exchanging that for usually some kind of money. When we start up our business, sometimes we can do skill swaps and stuff. But even if you're at that stage, I would suggest you exchange actual money. So if you and your friend have both learned how to massage, let's say, and you say, let's just do a practice massage on each other, the energy of just exchanging is nowhere near as high as the energy of somebody handing over actual physical cash or making a card transaction on your card. It's perfectly fine if that exact same cash or the same money comes out of the account that was just paid in goes back the other way. That's how money flows. You need to be open to receiving and spending the money for money to be okay with coming into your world. So from a place of making sales and getting used to accepting and welcoming payment for that, even if you're skill swapping, make sure there is an exchange of actual money. Okay, so when it comes to growing your audience, we're going to again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Number one, you don't know how to grow your audience. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to start. You might only have them on social media. Now, I know people who've had really big social media followings, who've had their accounts locked down and they can't get to their audience. So if you only have a social media audience and they're not anywhere else, that's going to be a 1. Number 2, you've used a strategy or two to get people into your audience, but you don't know how to bring them in consistently. So you might go a long time without adding new people, because we need to keep getting new people into our world. Otherwise, everybody's heard what we've said hundreds of times before, and there's nobody new that's going to get excited about what we offer. If you have an email list, but you don't email them, then you're also in this category. Okay, you're in at number 2. Number 3 is you know how to grow your audience consistently and add new people to your list every month. So you've got some kind of like rhythm or routine, because again, it can feel like we're every month just starting at 0 again and thinking, oh, what do I do today? How is it I run my business again? What is it I even do? We need to have some kind of rhythm. And I prefer the idea of a rhythm than a strict structure and routine. So if you want to run a monthly event or a monthly workshop or go to one networking event a week or whatever your personal rhythm is, we need to have a rhythm for growing our audience. So if you have a rhythm, but it's slower than you'd like. That's number 3. Number 4 is you've got a rock solid. Your rhythm is set. You know what you're doing. You're getting consistent people in. Maybe it's spending money on ads, but you're getting new people into your audience every single month. That's a 4. So again, share with me in the chat. Where are you with your audience growth? Megan's at a 1 for this one. Right. Okay. That makes sense. 2, 1. Or was that for the last one? Okay. So just drop your audience growth scores in the chat so we can see. 2, this one. Okay, yeah, good. 1, pre-contemplation with social media. Yeah, right at the start, Alex. Yeah, fantastic. 1. Yes, so we can see that this is the kind of often where we're stuck with building an audience, right? And for you, for like Wendy, if you've got a big event that is going to be in the future, you need to do some audience building for quite a while to warm people up. So what is it that you're offering that audience in terms of keeping them in your world before you just try and sell them a very high ticket thing? They need, if they're going to go on holiday and on a retreat with you, they need to know, like, and trust you. So we're going to look at the next ones for that. So once you've got people into your world, you then need to love them and nurture them and enable them to see that you might be the right person for them to work with. Get them to trust that you can actually help them, because you probably can, but they won't be open to your help if they don't feel safe with you. So they need to know who you are. That's the growing bit. They need to like you and trust you. And that we're going to build by nurturing them. So number 1 is we don't know what to say to them. We've got them in our email list or we've got them on our social media, and then we don't know what to say. So we don't say anything. All right. So you don't follow up with leads. Somebody might say, oh, a friend of mine said she might like your service, but then you go, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, point them my way, but you never follow it up. We're often like this as well. We don't feel like we want to bother people. Oh, somebody said they might like to come to your thing. They said they'd let me know, but then you've never heard from them. Well, until it's a no, it's still an unknown, right? So you're allowed to follow up with people. You're allowed to nurture them and serve them. So number 2 is your content is not consistent or your messages are confusing. So if you're trying to sell lots of different things, you might be confusing people, or 1 minute you're selling one thing, 1 minute you're selling something else. That might be confusing for people. If you're just winging it and you sit at Instagram every day and think, oh, what should I say? And you haven't got any strategy, then you're a number 2. Okay, number 3 is you know how to build strong relationships with your audience. You've got consistent content that includes building your authority and building your leadership. So whether that's your thought leadership, your skill leadership, your awareness leadership, so whatever kind of leader you want to be. And then number 4, you nurture your audience so well that they're very clear on what you do. So you want to get to the point where somebody who knows you could hear their friend having a conversation and be able to say, you know who you need to see, and they should be able to point at you and tell that person what you do. Okay, when you're at that point, you're at a number 4. So tell me where you are on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. How are we nurturing those people that we've valiantly got to come into our world? Let's see your numbers. Okay, 1 for this one, 1 for this one, Lorene. Amazing. Lorene, I'm glad you stuck in, because I think you dropped out right at the beginning. So I'm glad that you stayed, got back in. Yeah, so this one, okay, so we're struggling with the nurture. Yeah, this is often where it is. Okay. Okay, so if we're at 1, we need to look at what our nurturing is going to be like. And then, because if we can't nurture, we can't get to the point that we're converting people from just being in our audience to becoming what we would call a lead. So somebody who's interested in buying what we've got to offer. So we're at number 1. If we're at number 1 for nurture, we're possibly at number 1 for leads, but you're not yet able to turn people in your audience into people who might buy. You might be relying on word of mouth, so individual referrals, but you don't know how to generate new buyers for yourself. You're a number 2 if you've turned a few leads into clients, but it's not regular enough and you aren't meeting your income goal. You're at number 3 if you're getting more consistent at turning audience members into clients, but you need to get it faster. So for example, if it takes 4 months for someone to come into your world and then maybe buy a thing from you, then that might be right for your audience. For other people's audience, that might be a really long time. Now, you kind of need to know what that duration is. Especially for like Wendy, if you're going to be selling something that's quite high ticket in the future, that lead time might be really long. So you need to develop that nurture so that people are ready when it's time for them to buy, so that they're not buying cold. Number three, you're getting more consistent at turning audience members into clients. But again, oh, sorry, I've done number three. I need to speed that up. Number four, you're reliably able to turn new audience members into clients. So again, let's see your numbers. Where are we struggling with this one? Again, if we were struggling with nurture, we might well be struggling with lead. So it's cool. Yeah, three for this one for Kerry. Yeah, nice. Okay, anyone else got any numbers for this one? Yeah, Wendy. So yeah, still a one for that one. Still a one for that one. Yeah. So this is where the work's going to be a bit happening a bit more. So we need to focus here then on our lead generation. Because if we're not generating any leads, it doesn't matter how good we are at selling things, there's no one to sell them to. So we need to look at our sales strategy. We're at number one. If you never tell anyone what you sell, okay? I've known loads of people that are in this bracket. They do loads of value posts, they share lots of wisdom, but they never tell anybody what they can buy from them. So if you feel like selling gives you the massive ick and you never want to talk about what people can buy from you, you're at number one. Number two is when you get people onto discovery calls or sales calls, you rather than trying to understand what offer of yours would be a best fit for them, you're trying to live coach them or work with them in that call rather than direct learning about which offer would be the best one to direct them to. And you're not very comfortable saying your prices out loud. So if somebody says, "Oh, how much are your services?" you kind of feel like, oh, awful or uncomfortable saying how much you charge. Number three is you've made some sales, but it feels like you're winging it still, and you're not sure why. So you sometimes maybe think a call went really well or a meeting went really well, but then the person still doesn't buy, but you don't know why, and you don't have a follow-up process. And you're just not making enough of those sales calls. That would be number three. And number four, if you're there and you're nailing it, you're consistently able to make sales to dream clients. You're able to identify whether potential clients are a good fit for your offers, or if not, let them know. And I've just noticed a couple of typos in this one, sorry. And you can communicate the value of your services so that clients buy. So again, on our sales journey, let's see those scores. It's going to be a tricky one. This might be a bit of cringy one. Okay, so we're in the ones. Oh, Lorraine is good at this. Amazing. Okay. So Megan is just before launching, but does feel comfortable telling people about what you're going to be doing. Amazing. Kerry's also good at this one. Lorraine, no, some buy and others didn't. Okay, and if they didn't buy, fine. The next step would be following up and just saying, I'm just curious to know if there was anything else that would have made this offer a better fit for you, or was there something that was missing, or sort of opening up a conversation, not to overcome an objection if they have one, but perhaps it's that the offer isn't quite right for people and you can tweak the offer. So it might be worth finding out why people didn't buy, because it's really valuable and people tend not to mind. I thought people would really mind if I asked them that stuff, but they tend not to. Okay, so you should now have lots of scores from both the internal and the external factors. So add up all of your scores and then pop your total score, if you're happy to, in the chat. Making you do maths, I know. So when you've added all those scores up, what have you got? 7? Between 16 and 24. Awesome, Megan. 25 to 26 for Kerry. Yeah, good. Wendy's at 7. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So we've got quite a spread of scores. Lily's at an 8. Okay. Amazing. So in terms of where you are at, if you are at number 8, you're probably needing to build stronger internal foundations before you build external foundations. So the course that's worth having a look at for you would be the Ignite Your Wellbeing Business. And that's also where to look at if you're kind of in that 16 to 20 bracket, because that's going to focus on the internal. And then probably if you're in the 16 bracket, it's the external factors, which are needing a little bit more work. If you're up at that 24, so sort of 20 to 28 sort of region, you're doing really well. And it might be the time for you to think about adding something extra that is an additional income stream. So perhaps a course or a group program. So it might be worth looking at the course creation catalyst. And if you're up at getting 4s for everything, you might be very happy with where you are. You're probably not here though, because you wouldn't be at this webinar if you were at 32s. You might be ready to scale or grow a team, add new offers, or simply stay where you are. So with that in mind, the next thing I want you to think about is when you come off this call, think about what those goals are that you want to set yourself in each of these areas. So what's your financial goal? Is it a particular figure that you want to reach in terms of income, or is it just a feeling of not worrying about money? Like, what's that income goal look like? What does your freedom goal look like? And the freedom and the financial ones for me overlap, because I really like to have recurring income in my business. And that is a financial goal that is related to freedom, because I hate the feeling of starting a month with 0 in my income sheet. So I don't. So I have a membership, which means that I never start a month at 0, and that feels good for me. So it's a financial goal. I would still need to earn in addition to that, but it means I'm never starting at 0. So those financial goals might be different. It might be about recurring income. It might be about absolute income. So think about how spread out you want your income to be. Think about the freedom that you want. Do you want to run back-to-back calls with people? Do you want to have calls on only 2 days of the week and do other things the rest of the week? Do you want to just work in the mornings and be off in the afternoon? Like, what does that freedom look like for you? How does your life work for you? How do you want to fit your business around other things? So do you want your business to fit around school runs? Do you want your business to work around grandparenting duties or being available for people? Or do you have clubs that you never want to miss, or events that you want to do? Do you never want to work weekends? So think about your goals. And then any other goals that you want to add in there. You might have impact goals. You might have goals about where you work, like location specific goals, or how you work. So only online. I want to build the online part of my business. So having a think about what those goals are, looking back through the foundations and thinking, where do I need to start? So you always need to start at the top to be able to achieve the goals that you want. And where do you start? Start with the internal factors. Start with your mindset, start with your dream clients, then your offers, then the message that you're giving to them. Once you've done that, you can take daily action with the external factors. Okay. So the internal factors, they can all be improved, and then you daily take some action to do the external factors. So every day, one thing you could do to grow your audience, one type of post, one type of outreach, one type of event, share a post about an event that you're doing. Nurture your audience. So when you've got people into your world, whether that's in your social media world, whether that's in your email world, whether that's elsewhere, whether you've got people in a WhatsApp group, nurture, let people know how you can help them, support them to achieve themselves. Okay. And then serve with your offers. So it might be selling, it might just be letting people know what you've got for sale. Like imagine that you ran a shop, but you didn't let anybody into your shop and you didn't put anything in the shop window. You wouldn't have a shop for very long. But some of us run our businesses like that, especially in the online space. So think about, what does your shop look like? Do you let the right people in? Do they know where to find you? Do they like to have a little browse? Do some of them like to buy one or two small things, but then maybe buy a bigger item the second or third time they come in? So think about how you are serving people with maybe different size offers or different types of offer. So think about how you are telling people about how you can help them. And then if you want to focus, so we're now at the end of quarter two. So we've had quarter one, January, February, March, quarter two, April, May, and June. And then quarter three is a really interesting one for those of us that work in the wellbeing sector, especially because of school holidays and things like that. So if we're trying to run a business around children, or we work with educators or in the education sector, this can really be awkward for us. So quarter three is a really tricky one for many of us. So on Monday, the 29th of June, next Monday, I'm running a quarter three planning workshop, which then has a 30-day accelerator for you to do the things that you plan at the workshop. Because I don't know about you, but I've been to loads of planning workshops and had a really great plan and then left and done nothing that was on the plan. And then a few weeks later thinking, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do, when I still felt like I was winging it weeks later. So we're going to do something different. We're going to create a 90-day plan for the full quarter three. We're going to look back at quarter two. So look at those numbers in your spreadsheet that you're going to have. Look at where you want to focus on that order of list of priorities. Then plan quarter three, full 90-day plan, and then a focused 30-day plan. So you know exactly what you're doing for the next 30 days. And then we're going to do it. Okay, so then we're going to have 30 days of action. Every day, Monday to Friday, in a supported designated WhatsApp group, we're going to have a Monday goal setting so that we know what we're doing each week. So it reminds us to go back to the plan, look what we said we were going to do, map out just that week, our goals and our targets so that we're not overwhelming ourselves. We're going to have a Friday check-in call, and we're going to not be, I don't like the term sprint because I have taken part in sprints and I'm not a sprinter. And what happens if I go into a sprint is I start strong and then I burn out. So we're not going to sprint, we're accelerating. We're accelerating our business gently, more steadily, and with more focus. So we're going to do solid, focused action, not sprinting and burning out. And if you'd like to do that with me, the investment is £99. Lily, I can work out what that will be for you in dollars. We're going to do, and it's going to also, in terms of like the cost of it for you, it's going to be 30 days of steady, focused asset building action. It's not going to be all day, every day. It might just be 30 minutes each morning doing the things that are going to nudge your business forwards. There's a community for support, which is going to be available 24/7 on WhatsApp. You're going to be able to email me for support, and I'm going to be emailing you some prompts and tips and check-in sorts of things. We're going to have weekly live support at a time when everybody who signs up can come. So we're going to make sure we accommodate everybody and their time zones. So this kind of time of day often works really well for both people in the UK and people who are stateside. So that might work for you. And some of that can look like a lot. So it's for you to take as little or as much as you need to make progress. So if you just need the plan and the accountability, but you don't necessarily want to be in the busy WhatsApp group, then that's absolutely fine. If you love the WhatsApp group but don't want to come live, that's fine. You haven't got to do everything. There's no expectation that you would do everything. Okay. So yeah, as I said, the £99, and it starts with the accelerator on Monday, the 29th. So I'm going to stop the share, come back to you and ask you what questions you have. What would you like to ask? Or any observations? It's your time to kind of ponder aloud. Oh, is there something in the chat? Oh, Megan, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. So what I will be doing for everybody is I have got, just in the chat, I have actually got for you, ooh, there is a Google Doc of this spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the link and put it in there. I didn't share it at the beginning because it can be really distracting trying to be across two screens. But if you look now, there's a Google Doc. If you go to it and go File, Make a Copy, you will have your own copy of the spreadsheet version with all of those scores in it. So you can see where to start at the top. And then there's section at the end of each line, what your current score is, why it's at that score, and then what the next score would be. So what to do for the next one. So that's, you can have a look at the spreadsheet. Okay. So if there are no questions then, I
There
just,
is, sorry.
Wendy, go for it.
Yes, I just wanted to know for clarity, is the £99 to cover the 3 months in total?
To cover the 30 days. So it's a 30-day accelerator.
So because you spoke about for 90 days.
Yeah, so you'd plan the 90 days and we're going to accelerate the first 30 so that you should, after that, be okay with going off onto the next, onto the seeing if you can do it on your own. So I like to get you to the point where you're not sort of relying on that accountability. If you would still like accountability at that time, though, I do have a membership called Energize, which might be a next suitable step for you when you get to that point. But you might not need it if you've done all of that, which is why I just think the 30-day accelerator, because trying to stay really focused and rigidly focused for 90 days is quite a lot. And I think sometimes we're going to burn ourselves out if we try and do too much all at once.
So
Um,
is it 60 days of solo planning and then the last 30 days is the accelerator?
no, we'll do the planning workshop. We'll plan out what July, August, and September are going to look like. So what you might be selling in those months, what you might need to focus on. So it might be audience growth, it might be nurturing. And then we'll focus on the first month. So we'll be focusing on what you're going to do in July, and then you're going to be supported all through July. And then if you get to the end of the July and you feel like you want that kind of level of ongoing support, then there will be something else that you could join if you wanted to at that point, but you might not need it, which is why I'll introduce it when it comes to the right time for you.
Thank you. And lastly, do you have a website at all?
I do have a website. So the website that's up at the moment is zoecarroll.com. So what I'll do in your follow-up email, that when I'll include the replay in that, and I'll leave that. I'll put a link in there to my website so you know you've got the right one.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Okay, any other questions from anybody else?
I was just going to say, Zoe, would that be would the course be appropriate for someone like me, where I'm like so early, I've not really set up anything yet, or would it be more appropriate? Yeah, would it
I think
work?
it would, Alex, because it's getting those foundations, the internal foundations set up, because you can already do the skill that you want to do, can't you? So it
Yeah.
might be that you're thinking about, right, what sort of people do I actually want to work with, and thinking about what that, looking at your mindset to being actually, yes, I do want to make money out of this skill that I have developed and learned. I need to get ready. And then think about who do I want to work with, and equally, who do I not want to work with? So finding those first clients is often the hardest ones to get. And so it's doing that with support from other people who've been there might also be really nice, and kind of saying, oh, have you tried this approach or that approach? So it's quite nice to kind of have that. And then just thinking about setting up the systems. So even if you're at the early stage of building, for example, any kind of following on social media or something like that, you've got some sort of structure in place so that you're not just winging it from the get-go.
And is the Monday on the 28th, is that part of the
Yes.
as well? That is, yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Fantastic. Okay, so if there's no other questions, thank you so much for being here. As I said, once the replay is downloaded, I will send it out to you all with a couple of extra links so that you can see what's on and what's around.
I'm
And
sorry, Zoe. Zoe,
yes.
excuse me. I put it in the chat, but I don't think you saw it.
Oh,
I was you mentioned some course but during the scoring points.
yes.
Uh,
So
but
the Ignite program, I can send you information about that as well, Lily. Absolutely. So the next
I'd
cohort
appreciate
of that is going to start in September. Um,
it.
and that might be too far off for you, which is why I sort of haven't talked about it this evening. But I can include information about that in that follow-up email if you'd like, because I think for some of you that will be a really interesting sort of next step for you to have a look at.
Yes.
So the next
Yes,
cohort
thank you
will be
very
starting
much.
in
Thank you
September.
so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I'll make a note to remind myself that I need to do that. Uh, amazing. Okay, fantastic.
So, sorry
Yes,
to
Louis.
interrupt you. Will you
Yeah,
be
you're all right.
sending the link for payment in the follow-up email?
Yes, I will. If you do you want
Mhm.
to, if you want, if you know you want to do it, I can send it now. I've also got it here. Where is it? This is just a really a payment link. It hasn't got a very pretty sales page attached to it, so there's not all the information in there. But if you know you want to do it, then you can use that link, and that will take you straight in there. Um, that should be in the chat now. But yes, I'll also be sending that link out in the follow-up email. So that would be lovely to have you along for that one. Okay, amazing. Well, thank you all for being here. Have an absolutely splendid rest of your day or your evening, depending on your time zone. And I look forward to seeing some of you again soon. I've put you all in my little email list now so I can send you all the information. If you don't want to hear from me again, just click unsubscribe. I don't want to hold you hostage, but it is lovely to have you in my world. So thank you very much for being here. And I look
Thank
forward to seeing
you.
some of you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.